Day 3 of Pokemon Week, and as you saw yesterday, I was counting down my top 10 favorite Pokemon, but I only got through 5. Well, it just so happens that I got to, number 5, did that. I didn't realize I ran out of time on my camera, and the battery wound up dying. And it had to charge. And for some stupid reason, charging takes all night. So here I am, back again to do the final 5. I'm bad with technology. Just cue title scene. Before we get to the actual top 5, I think now would be a good time to put in some honorable mentions. These were the Pokemon who I thought going into this would be on the top 10 list, but wound up getting kicked off as I got more and more nostalgic. And they are Keldeo, because he was voiced in the Pokemon 15th movie by Vic Montagna, aka Edward Elric, aka one of the biggest badasses in TV history. If when the Genesect movie comes out on TV in a couple weeks, and if Mewtwo is voiced by Bryan Cranston, I will officially be in heaven. Then, Garchomp. Do I need a reason? Sword Arms. Sword Arms! Land Shark. Rough Skin. Being easier to catch than most of the other pseudo-legendaries. I think that's a good enough reason. Swampert. My starter for Pokemon Ruby was a Mudkip, who I kept just winning every battle with, even though I had other Pokemon which I sort of forgot about. Raised it all the way to a Swampert. Before the game died, my Swampert was at level 85. And when you know absolutely nothing about competitive video game play, that is awesome. Ho-Oh! Why? Because I still remember getting my first gold game on my 8th birthday, or 7th, or 6th, or at some point before the internet was really widespread. But basically, I remember opening up that beautiful gold package, seeing that Ho-Oh, and never once catching that Ho-Oh because I never beat the game. And finally, the honorable mention, the one that it killed me, didn't make it on here, but I had no choice, Mew. It's such a fascinating Pokemon. It's such an original Pokemon. I love the backstory. I love the mystery to it. I loved getting to see it on the big screen. I just loved everything about this Pokemon. But when it came down to it, I've got no connection with it. It's not important to my life. It's not relevant to anything I've ever done with Pokemon. Who knows? Maybe in X and Y they'll make it a bit easier to get the game and I can build some real Mew-based memories. But until then, Mew, you're just a mirage Pokemon. That's right, the firefighting starters. Easily the most annoying starters ever. Even more annoying than Venusaurs that learn every special condition move. But I digress. What puts Infernape up here is actually two very good reasons, and believe it or not, except for similar reasons, he was going to be much higher. He was going to be number 2 for a couple hours that I was working on this. I did this intermittently because I like to eat a lot. Anywho, Infernape is here for 2 reasons. First and foremost, like I alluded to with Zebstrika, the Pokemon games, they've all been building up to me actually being able to know what to do and build a strong team. And Diamond and Pearl was the Pearl for me. I didn't play Diamond. Pearl was great for me because, you know, for my Ruby and Sapphire, my Ruby team, it was just random, just Pokemon I kind of caught and liked and were doing okay. This time, I actually took a day, I sat down, and I figured what was the best team to build. And even though, by that point, people told me, you don't have to keep your starter. Well, guess what? There were no fire types in Gen 4. What the heck was that about? Seriously, don't do that again, Game Freak. But I went with my Chimchar, who became a Monferno and became an Infernape. He stayed with me the whole time. I never got him to level 100. That still has only ever been for Alligator, just because, you know, that pesky thing called school. But I did get Infernape really high. He was always got my back. And also, I loved him in the anime. I know the show, it really varies in quality. A lot of times it just gets bogged down with filler. A lot of it's very superficial, and of course, anyone who didn't grow up with Pokemon thinks it's garbage. But sometimes, you know, it's a diamond in the rough. Sometimes you really get these arcs or these individual episodes that I think are just, you know, worth their weight through all the bad filler, through all the cheesiness, through all the bad side characters. And the Infernape to Chimchar arc was one of them. It's probably one of my favorites. The Paul versus Ash battle at the end of the Sinnoh League is probably my favorite battle ever. I loved what they did with Chimchar. I loved the idea of embodying what people do in real life, and what people are always ostracizing Ash for. That idea that, you know, you just, in the games, obviously, most people, they catch their Pokemon and then just leave them in the box when they get the stronger ones. To have a character that embodied it and to ground it, it was a really realistic take on it. No one thinks of it that way. In reality, if this was real, you could not approach it that way, just ditch what's weak. The thing is that when something is real and has feelings and emotions and bonds with you, you know, if you can't bond with that, you're a jerk like Paul. And when you had Chimchar, who wasn't that lifestyle, it was just so beautiful to see a full arc, well-rounded, everything made sense, everything felt perfect. It was the right blend, it was the right amount, they didn't overly focus on it, but when it was an issue, when it was relevant, that's all you thought about. That was important. I think it is maybe one of the most well-handled arcs of any TV show I watched that isn't really for my age range and not targeted for my age. And I have a feeling it probably has stuck with a couple of kids, just that it's stuck with me, and it's always going to make me think of Infernape positively, and I will use that as an example to fight to the death why the show isn't the worst thing in TV history. Swords for Arms. Garchomp was originally going to be at this place because it too has freaking sword arms. That will be sickle arms in a few days. This is freaking awesome. But Kabutops wound up on here for a couple of reasons. A, I started thinking about fossil Pokemon because I had a show about dinosaurs on TV while I was doing this list. And when it came down to it, I asked myself, which fossil Pokemon do I like the best? And the only thing I could come up with was Kabutops. And when it came down to finding a place for it, it hit me that Garchomp is just, at least for me, just an easier to get Kabutops. It's such a cool Pokemon. I love the insect design. I love just how ruthless and violent and savage it looks. I love how savage it behaves. I know Water Rock isn't an overly great combo because it's 4 times weak to grass and all that. But it was just such a cool visually Pokemon, and I just thought it was so awesome. Also, there's the unobtainable factor here. Obviously, I told you I didn't play Red and Blue for a long time. I never understood how fossils really worked in the Pokemon universe, even with the show episode. It just never hit me, you know, extinction and stuff like that with Pokemon. So because of this, Kabutops always felt like this unobtainable goal. Not in the same way Nidoking did, where it was the mystery. I knew all I needed to about Kabutops. It was called Kabutops, and it could slash you to death. And as we later found out, it drinks your fluids. And the thing is that it was just such a fascinating Pokemon. I just felt it was that unobtainable goal. And it was just such an awesome Pokemon to think about. It was so awesome to see it fight. And I just wanted so much to have it, and it just stuck with me for so long that you just don't stop thinking about it. It's just such a cool Pokemon. I just love how it's so hard to obtain, even though it's actually fairly easy, but it takes you so long to get to it. you know, there's nothing else I can say about it, except it's got swords for arms!
If I could, I would dare.
Absol, you looked like such a badass when we found you, but we actually found out you're rather quite useless and forgettable. Not for me! I loved Absol when I first saw it. Once again, awesome design. It was like, kind of like a dog out of hell. That's what it felt like. I know Houndoom is, you know, the hell dog basically, but Absol just felt spooky. Or with Houndoom, I never felt it was scary. It just kind of reminded me of like misunderstood creatures like sharks or Canadians. And the thing is that when I looked at Absol, I knew this thing was going to have an awesome role. It's easily the best part of Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker, seeing as Jirachi makes no sense and Groudon basically got screwed over in that movie. Fix that, Pokemon! But the thing is that Absol gets to me for another reason. For those of you who don't know, I am a struggling writer for my profession. That gets me money at least. And I've always tried to take the high road. I don't like shows and movies that, you know, cut corners or take it easy and stuff like that. For me, I've always just been attracted to the strong and the things that are just integrity. And for me, Pokemon, weirdly enough, has always had integrity. It's always made sure to understand that there's a difference between what the in-game people know about Pokemon and what the Pokemon actually is. For games, this isn't overly important, but Absol is the disaster Pokemon. You know, it's said that it foresees bad weather, destruction, disaster, danger. And for me, I thought, okay, so is this thing supposed to be an evil Pokemon? But when you saw it in the show, it wasn't evil. That was the first time watching the show, and this is a stupid example, but it stuck with me. That was the first time I ever thought, wow, people got it wrong, and it was misunderstood, and it was wrong to be prejudiced. Okay, I didn't know the word prejudice at the time. But it stuck with me, and I thought it was an interesting idea, and I liked the concept, and I've been working with it ever since. Absol it's the idea of being misunderstood, it's the idea of myths and legends intertwining with facts and science, and it's just such an interesting idea and concept, and I'm great in just 1/2 hour of TV. They really just put it all out there. They showed it all with easily the coolest of all the G3 Pokemon, and I just loved getting to witness that, and the fact that it still sticks with me, like I guess 10, 12 years later, it's just something really great to remember. And it always keeps Absol in my heart, and it's always something I always just remember to keep myself on the high road, not the low road.
I am so high.
Gonna be straight up. I have never owned a Scizor in the video games. I have never had a Scizor card, and I'm pretty certain they've never made a Scizor toy. So why is Scizor my second favorite Pokemon of all time? One reason. Awesomeness! At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many memories you have of Pokemon, how many good times, how many ideas about it. In reality, Pokemon is just meant to be fun. It's meant to be a little escape. It's meant to be kind of an innocent video game, especially at a time where video games are big controversy. I've always just loved getting to be in this world, explore it, make it my own way. And the thing about Scizor is that every time I look at Scizor, I remember that. It doesn't bring back the nostalgic memories like Absol or Groudon or anything like that. It's just freaking awesome! Scyther was, for a very long time, my favorite G1 Pokemon. In reality, with Scizor, and when it came out, I just thought, because originally I remember a friend of mine told me that there were going to be more Pokemon. Of course, this is obviously, I think, on the kindergarten playground. And I remember I got one of those sticker books one day, and that's where it had the first round of Pokemon. I think the only ones they revealed were the starters, Ho-Oh, Lugia, Snubbull, Marill, Scizor, Slowking, and a couple others. And the thing was that I didn't think, how could Scizor be any cooler? I mean, Scyther. And then I saw the actual Scizor. and it was amazing. Swords are awesome, swords are amazing, but those claws and the red's my favorite color, if you couldn't tell. It was such an awesome badass. And I just remember thinking, oh my god, it's so cool. I didn't get my first Pokemon game till a little while after that. And before that, all I could just imagine that if I was a Pokemon trainer, you know, screw Pikachu, screw Charizard, forget them all. My partner would be a super cool, super awesome, super fast, super strong Scizor. And I know Scizor, in the grand scheme of things, it's forgettable. It doesn't play a big role in the show. I don't think a gym leader's ever used it. It's never been big. It's never going to be big. But as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to being awesome, cool, and amazing, and just for the majority of my life being my favorite Pokemon, there is nothing that can beat Scizor. Except number one, my favorite Pokemon. The one that I like above all else. The one that if I was carrying both with two arms. Let me rephrase that, because this is so awesome to talk about. If I was at the edge of a cliff, and in one hand I had Lucario, and the other hand I had a Scizor that, for whatever reason, couldn't fly, and I had the strength to lift them both up, I would drop Scizor just to make sure I had the extra strength to get Lucario up here. Lucario is just the most awesome, amazing Pokemon ever. I remember when I was a little kid and I wanted a dog, but I never got that dog because all my parents saw was a money-grubbing pooping machine. I always thought, how cool would it be to have a Pokemon dog? But I didn't want Arcanine because for a long time I actually thought it was a cat. And I remember wanting a Houndoom, but Houndoom scared my sister and I never heard the end of it. And Absol was awesome, but we already went through that, so I'm just going to say, once Lucario showed up, all of them didn't matter. I thought this Pokemon was awesome. It was badass. And they did the most ingenious thing. I remember the Advanced Battle opening. That was the third Hoenn season. You saw Lucario and a Mew there. That clip was taken from the movie trailer for Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. We did not know about that film for like 6 months after that season started. So I kept wondering, oh my god, what's that, what's that? It's a new Pokemon, it's a new Pokemon, it's so awesome, so cool, so cool. We all forgot about Munchlax. Munchlax is stupid. And the thing is that it was just such an awesome design. I loved everything about it. I know I've said that about everything on this list, but Lucario went further for that. I'm one of those people where I've either got 20 things going on at once or nothing at all. So a lot of times I'm kind of just stuck daydreaming. Better to daydream than to wet dream, I always say. And the thing is that I'm a dork, so a lot of times I still imagine to this day, what if I was a Pokemon trainer? And for some weird reason, those images stopped being about Scizor or the current starter Pokemon I had and just started being about Lucario. I just thought it was such a badass, awesome Pokemon. And it went even further, because I remember all the other geeky stuff from when I was a kid, like Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I still play Yu-Gi-Oh!, but shut up. And the thing is that even then when I imagined my own cards, or what my own Digimon partner would be, it was Lucario. Well, Lucario-mon for the Digimon stuff. And I loved it. It just felt like it was the perfect fit for me. Fighting types are awesome. Steel types are awesome. Just such a perfect balance of everything. I loved the Lucario and the Mystery of Mew movie. I think it's definitely one of the best out of all of them. I think Lucario even gets justice in the show. I loved the third gym battle in the Sinnoh arc, which is where you saw Lucario. And I just think it's such a great designed Pokemon. It's such a smart designed Pokemon. Everything about it just works perfectly. And it will probably always be my favorite. I've never been such attached to a Pokemon like I am Lucario. You know, it's just influenced me so much. I made sure when I got Black and White 2, the first Pokemon I got was Lucario. I was really going to choose Tepig as my starter for White 2. I said, screw it. If I'm going to have a fighting type on my team, it's Lucario because you get it early on. I hope we get it early on in X and Y. It's going to be my team's Mega Evolution. I just love this Pokemon to death. The G6 Pokemon look great. I don't hate really any of the G5 Pokemon, even though a lot of people do, but Lucario just remains my top tier, my ultimate Pokemon, my favorite Pokemon, and that's how it will always be. You can't change me, YouTube. Or at least I hope not. I don't know what you people can do with video editing technology. But I'm not the only one with 10 favorite Pokemon out there. What are yours? Pokemon X and Y is coming up, and I'm sure your lists, like mine, might change. So, and if you want, in the comment sections below, tell me your 10 favorite Pokemon, or leave a video response, or tell me how to leave a video response. I don't know how that works. And as always, if you'd like to hear more of my Pokemon videos, if you want to hear my movie reviews, which is my main thing I do on this channel, or any of the other weird, bizarre things I do and talk about, click on that subscribe button below. And until then, everyone worship Lucario, because he's based on Anubis, the Egyptian god of death, and he will kill you.